A semi-truck loaded with bee hives collides and tips over. Instantly the hives crack open. Tens of millions of bees swarm out in a panic. The driver, surrounded by bees, tries to call for help. But the mother and daughter in the car scream in terror. Soon the driver collapses, unconscious and possibly dead. And the mother and daughter are trapped in the car by the dense swarm. Even worse, these aren't regular honeybees. They're aggressive killer bees. The mother immediately dials emergency services as they try to drive away, but bees have clogged the exhaust pipe, leaving the car unable to start. To make matters worse, both mother and daughter are allergic to bees. And there's only one epinephrine shot in the car. When the fire department arrives, they're shocked by the massive swarm, and the day's high temperatures make the killer bees even more aggressive. The driver on the ground has no pulse, and another crew member in the truck is unconscious. The team uses carbon dioxide spray to clear the bees from the vehicle, but it runs out quickly, and bees block the water pump's intake, stopping it from working. The captain requests a foam transport truck from headquarters, but due to traffic, it'll take 20 minutes to arrive. Suddenly a bee flies into the car. At the dispatcher's urging, the woman shuts off the vents. But it's too late. 3 bees are already inside. The dispatcher tells them to stay perfectly still like statues, but a bee crawls onto the girl's cheek, about to sting her eye. The little girl panics and slaps her face, leaving the stinger embedded in her skin. An allergic reaction hits immediately. The girl struggles to breathe, so the mother injects the epinephrine into her daughter's leg. The girl finally catches her breath. But just then, another bee stings the woman. She swats it instinctively, and now the epinephrine is gone. The dispatcher contacts the rescue team, urging them to get the mother and daughter out fast. But based on the 8-year-old's weight, even without allergies, she can only survive 40 to 50 stings. So even if they're rescued, chances of survival are slim. Just then, another vehicle nearby explodes. Meanwhile, the other truck driver's face is swollen beyond recognition, and a bee flies out of his mouth. When rescuers shine a light, a horrifying sight emerges. His throat is packed with bees. They have to use a suction device, like a vacuum cleaner, to clear his airway, and the driver wakes up. The team fights to save the mother and daughter, but the situation worsens, and the foam truck is still 8 minutes away. In a critical moment, Bailey realizes smoke can drive away bees and uses a positive pressure fan to blow smoke at the truck. But the woman inside is nearly unconscious. Thankfully, the dispatcher finds info that the syringe might have leftover medicine and guides the woman to cut it open. There is a smaller syringe inside, but just then, the woman passes out from exhaustion. With the dispatcher's encouragement, the girl bravely injects her mother, and she wakes up. Outside, the team uses smoke to disperse the bees. It works. Fewer bees surround the truck, and they rush to pull the mother and daughter to safety. They think it's over, but then a massive explosion happens. 15 million killer bees blast into the air, forming a tornado-like swarm, and head east over the city. Experts track them with radar. But just before sunset, the signal disappears. But the danger isn't gone. Killer bees don't move at night. As dawn drop, they're likely just resting. And their chosen spot is an expo site. The next day, a new perfume launch is scheduled there. Killer bees have taste. The boss and assistant haven't sensed the danger, eagerly awaiting the event. Unaware the tent is already covered in bees. The next day is predictable. When the boss sprays perfume on the assistant to demonstrate, bees pour out from the tent ceiling. Everyone runs for their lives. Purist is the assistant. Thanks to the perfume, he's a bee magnet. He jumps into the pool in desperation. The boss calls 911. But every time the assistant surfaces, bees attack. How can he survive until help arrives? Luckily, Maddie thinks fast. With a hose, the assistant stays underwater for 25 minutes. In a pinch, Bailey has an idea, a distraction tactic. Though it's risky for a teammate, they'd ask Diaz, their fastest runner, in perfume, using him as bait to lure the bees away. Diaz gears up and sprints outside, leading the swarm away, and the assistant is rescued. But she's in a coma from multiple stings. Each stinger releases venom every second, and removing them all would take hours. It works. Pulling out stingers and even shaving her skin, the girl is out of danger. Finally, a professional beekeeper arrives late, looking at Diaz covered in bees. The beekeeper asks, seconds later, bees are safely vacuumed away. But only 100,000 minus 200,000 are captured, meaning 14.8 million are still at large. Where did they go? At 10,000 feet, an old man flies a small plane he bought with company money. During a joke with air traffic control, a massive cloud appears ahead. It's the 14 million plus bee swarm. Before he can react, the plane crashes into the swarm. Bees pour in through the vents, instantly taking over the cockpit. He loses control, and when he looks up, a passenger jet is heading straight for him.